Welcome to Advisors on Growth. I'm your host, Derek Colin. In today's episode, we have a very special guest. His name is Gavin May. He is the general manager and co-owner of Vertex Roofing. How you doing today, Gavin?
I'm doing really good, man. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, awesome. So can you share a bit about your background, your role, and how it fits into the bigger picture at Vertex?
Yeah. You want me to start, like, as far as my background, just getting into roofing and all that?
Sure, yeah, why not?
Okay. Yeah. So started out in roofing. I was in and out of jobs for a while. I had a really close friend from back in high school. His family owned a roofing contracting company. I had done some grunt work back in high school. Then some years went by. I was in the trades, but I wasn't in roofing. I was kind of in countertops. I had had a couple of sales gigs during that time period as well. They called me, told me that they had been talking about wanting to get another estimator to join their team. They already had 7, and they were just growing a lot. And they wanted to bring in one more. And they had brought up my name, so I went over there, worked at that contractor for 5 years, almost 5, and then 2020 happened. Had to figure some things out. Went on a furlough, kind of unemployment situation over there, but it allowed me to look elsewhere. The current owner at the time of Vertex Roofing was Devin Parker, and is Devin Parker. He's the primary owner. He had just told me at like different trade shows, home shows, things like that. He's like, "Hey man, if you ever think about leaving this other guy, make sure you come talk to me first. Love the way you interact with people. Would love to have you on the team." So I took that opportunity during 2020, jumped over to Vertex, sold 1.6 million as a roofing estimator in 6 months. Then he made me sales manager. From there, I sold $3 million the next year in 2021. Every year after that, I was selling over $3 million. 2 years ago, I was made the general manager of the company. And then just this year in March, was actually asked to join as a co-owner, shareholder, and partner of the company. We've grown from a $2.5 million roofing contractor, scaling upwards of, we're looking to go over 8 million this year. We've grown from 15 employees to over 40 employees. Really just pushed our marketing, our branding, our name, our reputation. We're all over on social media. So just been really cool, man, to watch the growth not only happen in myself and in career, but really just for the company to continue to have growth year over year has been really exciting.
What do you think pushed you to, sell so much? Like, what was your driver?
Drivers, bro. It starts off as I want to make good money. I have a wife, 3 kids. I got 3 daughters. They're awesome. So obviously, I wanted to give my family a good life. I have goals, man. I had things I wanted to buy. Like I ended up, buying like a cabin out in the woods. I always wanted to do that. My grandpa raised me, to be an outdoorsman. So I just had different things I wanted to achieve, different things I wanted to do. And I just knew I needed to push myself. And I just really sunk my teeth into this industry. I had a really good mentor in my life at one point. He told me, "Gavin, I have no doubt you're going to be successful at whatever you do. Whatever it is, though, you just really need to sink your teeth into it." And I kind of felt at this point in my life when I made that jump that this is it. And I saw the opportunity and I sunk my teeth into it. And so I learned everything and anything I could about roofing, be it installation, be it products. I mastered the craft, like the art of the close and selling, and what makes people tick and how to win people's business and different things like that. And then at the same time, really growing the vision, the branding, the mission statement of Vertex as a whole. Vertex is the top of a peak, right? And so I really just push this preface on, we're after 5 peaks on every single job. That's what we talk about in our sales meetings, in our production meetings, what we talk about with our crews. We talk about it with our customers. Those 5 peaks are customer service, communication and follow through, quality and craftsmanship, satisfaction and cleanliness, and confidence and determination. And we've just really pushed these things so that we have a culture here, and everything we do should be at a peak level. And every person who works here should feel that, and every customer should feel that. And that should be what we leave an imprint on every single job. And so when that's the driving force and you're pushing culture, and it kind of just naturally starts to fall in place because your name and reputation just continues to grow.
Yeah, yeah. Provides good recommendations, referrals, good community connections, all that good stuff. So
But
I
a
think
back
it's
end back
admirable.
end side to
Yeah.
your question real quick, man. Another driving factor, bro, was I started to really care about everybody I work for, man. The more jobs are coming in, the more everybody here has a job. So be it your roofers that are the hardest working people in your company. It's 95 degrees outside right now, man. I got 5 jobs going on right now. I got 5 different crews out there in this sun while I'm sitting in here AC doing a podcast with you, right? So I got to keep those guys working. They got a bunch of families to feed. I got office staff. I got other people, like other sales guys. Like, we all need each other and we're all a team together. It's not me versus, or it's not me looking out for me. It's me looking out for everyone. And people in sales really need to understand that when you're in sales, you're not just providing for you, you're providing for everyone in your company. And that should motivate and drive you, because you are what's bringing in income into the entire company. And so if you can't find it in yourself, then do it for everybody around you, because they're all counting on you.
No, that's admirable from a management perspective, especially as a GM like yourself and a co-owner, being able to go ground level with employees and find out their drivers and their why and understand that they have families to feed. That's definitely admirable. So kudos to you, bro.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
So when it comes to, problem or situation or maybe an opportunity or issue that may arise, when does someone typically bring you into the equation? Is it the CEO or HR?
Yeah, man, I'm responsible for day to day. So any job that's going on, we have like a whole production staff. So I have a production manager that oversees my crews. All we've got the 5 crews. He oversees the 5, and then he has 2 helpers that are helping him running trailers, running materials, making sure the guys have everything they need. When I get brought into those situations, would be like, sometimes you're doing certain areas out here. There used to be wood shakes with like space sheathing, or people have like rotted roof decking, and maybe a foot accidentally cracks through some wood, goes through their ceiling, like putting out fires, things like that. That's stuff that I would have to get involved in. But I'm also, on top of being general manager, I'm still the sales manager right now. We've been
Still
growing
in the
and building.
field.
Yeah, so we've been growing and building the sales team. I'm still in the field. I've already sold, 3.5 million this year myself. And so as we're continuing to grow, I'll hand off more and more. Going into next year, I'll finally be able to step out of the residential estimating arena, and I'm just going to focus on our commercial HOA property management division that we have. And I'm just gonna run with that. And I'm passing off residential. It's the first time I've passed this off in 6 years that I've been here. So it's kind of been, it's cool when you create processes and flows, and you get people that you can count on, and you get them to believe in the vision and the mission and who you are, and then they can do the hard things that you were once doing, and then you don't have to do as much. And then you can pivot and step into a different direction. So to answer your question, I'm still highly involved in sales. I run the sales meetings, I run the sales team, I run the sales goals, and then just the day-to-day general management that's happening in the company. So
That's pretty cool. I would imagine you mentor as well.
100%, man. I love to mentor.
Yeah. Awesome, awesome. So what major shifts are you currently seeing in your industry right now?
Major shifts, man. I mean, obviously, everybody's going to say the same thing. Materials keep going up. There's nothing we can do about that to a certain degree. Once one manufacturer goes up, they all do it at the same time, it seems. I would say too, in the Utah market, our industry has been infiltrated really heavily with what I would refer to as a storm chaser or insurance monger, where guys will start a roofing contracting company. They'll have it solely insurance work based. Their whole plan purpose is to try to get insurance to cover people's roofs, because it's a larger expense. And when somebody's telling you, hey, I could open up a claim, get insurance involved. Well, the reality is we're not a huge insurance market. We don't get the size of hail that other places get. We don't get as much hail. We get maybe 1 to 2 hailstorms, if that, a year. We do have some high winds that come through, but nothing like other parts of the country. So I would say, of the insurance claims that are actually coming in, maybe 10% are legit, and the rest are, it's a gamble, it's a push. And so that's really infiltrated hard into our market, and it's making the insurance angle a lot harder, and it's causing insurance companies to crack down a lot harder in this market. And so people who have legitimate claims, the insurance companies are they push back really heavy, and so it just becomes this debate where it didn't used to be as hard as it is now. And so what I'm noticing in the market, to answer this long-winded question, I guess, is if people aren't pivoting to retail and having retail and or commercial being their primary source for their business, I fear that it may become unsustainable if they continue on this path of trying to be only insurance driven. I think that's going to become much harder.
Yeah, yeah. And you think this is a problem that pertains only to the Utah market, or are you guys looking to expand into other territories? You guys at least looking to optimize, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so we're actually we got linked up with some guys out of Texas. They're gonna obviously run their area out of Texas, but we are looking at expanding into Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona markets as of right now, and possibly Las Vegas. And so those would be markets. Those are just direct ones near Utah that we're gonna start to tap into. Not that we're gonna franchise out. We'll still have HQ right here out of Salt Lake, but be able to expand our teams into different states when the projects come up.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, bro.
And are you gonna run kind of, a run point on all of those, Las Vegas, New Mexico, Texas?
The expansion and into the markets, yeah, I probably would be running point on all that. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. Awesome.
I'm excited about it, honestly.
Yeah. So, when it comes to residential or commercial, what's the unique value proposition? Why should someone use your services and contract you guys out?
Great question. I like this question a lot actually because this right here is where I like to just tie it all back into when I was talking to you beginning with Vertex. We really just are who we say we are, man. We take a lot of pride in this. Take this very serious. This is our livelihood and we want to be here for a while. We never want to be the biggest, but we've always wanted to be one of the best. And so when you continue with that level and that bar of consistency, integrity, and quality and craftsmanship and making sure that the customers are being well communicated with. We take photos on every project from start to finish. So when we tear it off, they're getting photos. When we're each process, they're getting photos. And so we just really try to go above and beyond to make sure that this has been a peak level experience. And again, I keep coming back to that and I always will, because when you're living your name and your brand goes with who you are, it's super easy. And so why should people hire us? Because it's going to be a peak level experience from start to finish. And the expectation is set high and we aim to hit it.
Yeah, I think in our earlier conversations, the audience may not know, but I think you were telling me a story about a roofing or refrigeration or some sort of issue with a contract you guys were looking at, and whoever did it before like completely effed it up, and
Yeah.
you guys identified it and you solved the problem, right? Was
Yeah.
that the
So
story?
yeah, that's so it was like a 200,000 square foot freezer. They have these giant warehouses that'll be like freezers. They're all over the country. So this one was in Clearfield, Utah. And when we were tearing the roof off, we get to the ISO board. It's 8 inches, so 2 rows of 4-inch ISO, and it's frozen solid like ice. So our guys are out there with ice picks. Again, I don't know if you heard me. It's 200,000 square foot building, so it took a while, but we got it all out. The reason why it happened is because the previous roofer did not put a vapor barrier down. And so underneath the wood is a freezer. That freezer is emitting,
Yeah,
ice through the wood.
condensation, ice.
Condensation,
Yeah,
yeah. And so freeze thaw is happening and all of the ISO board got moisturized and then it froze. And so it was the worst. So we just put a vapor barrier on that deck, did it the right way, then put their 2 rows of insulation back in and then new membrane. That was a big project, bro. That was like a $1.2 million deal. They got all gutters around the property too. So that was a big one.
yeah,
That
that's
was in
cool.
21 when we did that.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to have you share that story. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I know.
So what's working well for you guys right now? Where do you see Vertex in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, man. Working well right now. We're pressing pretty hard on SEO marketing, pay per clicks. We just started up this new referral. It's called Refer Pro. This new program based off referrals. They send out campaigns to your past customers to incentivize them to bring you in some referral work that's pretty solid. We're all over on social media. We push social media pretty hard. So I'll give a quick plug real quick. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Come find us, Vertex Roofing SLC. A lot of our stuff's quite comical. So we don't push like boring roofing videos. We kind of more of a comedic approach just so people can see our personality too and know that we're fun guys around here. We like to have a good time. But then when you see our professionalism, when we come in, for the presentation and then the whole process of replacing your roof, we just want to show people that We're Utah homegrown guys. We care a lot about this community, and we really just want to put quality roofs over people's heads. So where do I see the company going in 6 to 12 months? I mean, we're going to be crossing over that $8 million threshold, which is going to be great. I'd like to see us pumping into 8 figures. I would think I'm hoping we're in the 8 figure mark, like hitting that 10 million in a year and a half to 2 years. So
Yeah.
that's the goal.
Especially, before winter is probably going to be a little bit more contracts and an uptick in business, I would
Busy
imagine.
time of year, bro. Yeah, is the fall.
Yeah.
So you get into Q3, we head into the fall. It's gonna start really taking off in August, September, October. So yeah,
Not to mention that expansion into those other states, right? So
that's right, bro.
yeah, that's awesome.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So, last question, you mentioned the goal was to expand. Do you guys like secure like partnerships in different territories? How do you find new team members?
Partnerships as far as ownership, or what do you mean
Well,
by
you
this?
said your partners are people in Texas, so I was just curious, like, how do you guys expand, from there? Like, you find other contractors, people who have that background, and
Yeah, so this guy out of Texas that we got linked up with, we actually partnered with them. They hired us to they just have accounts all over the country.
mm,
And they hired us to do the Residence Inn Marriott right by Salt Lake International Airport. If anybody flies into Salt Lake International, right off the freeway by the airport, Residence Inn, we're going to be in the courtyard. They're hiring us to do that next year, but we just did the Residence Inn for them. They just have like these contracted accounts like all over, and they were super impressed by our work and catch a lot of it online as well. One thing that we have on big, commercial type projects, we're one of the only guys in Utah that have the trash rocket. So it's this big metal trash rocket. It lifts like this. You can go up to 36 feet. You send all of your materials down the chute right into your dumpster. So your cleanup is super easy. You don't have a messy job site on a commercial project. And so it's just very convenient, and it was very attractive, especially on a hotel. And so just expanding is possibly buying more equipment and seeing what's going to tap into these different markets. But it's just cool to see these different avenues being open. We made that decision to buy that thing. It was kind of scary, it's like a $60,000 purchase, but it's already paying for itself because we're winning these jobs. I just won another HOA, 1,600 squares, which is 160,000 square foot HOA property. So we're on a 53 building project right now in Vineyard, Utah. So we're just like, these doors are being opened and we're making decisions that are best for Vertex, and they get scary at sometimes, but the decisions are panning out and they're paying for themselves. So when we're partnering up with those guys, it's just them opening doors for big projects like this because they have the accounts, and they were super impressed by us. They said we're their A1 roofer. If it's not going to be them, they're going to hire us. And we've catapulted to the top of their list. They told us, I just had this meeting yesterday, so it's cool you're bringing this up. But he just told me, as impressed as they were, that we have moved to that top of their list, and they're very picky about the people that they choose to do business with because it's a representation of them and their big accounts. And so that was a pretty high thing to achieve, to receive that kind of recognition. And again, I'm just going to preface, that's that peak level that people can expect. That's what we're after on every job.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Do you guys attend like events, like convention center events, associations when it comes to roofing, residential, commercial,
Yeah, dude, you got the
developers?
Western States Roofing Expo. It's usually in Vegas every single year. You got the International
Yeah.
Roofing Expo. That's in like 4 or 5 different states. They do that once a year. So we'll hit those. I also went to the, what was it called? Best of Success conference that was in Texas this last year. I was asked to be a young gun in the best under 40 in the country. There's like this pool of guys that got invited. And so I asked to go there, and I got to speak like on this panel. And so that was super dope. And so we do try to get out there and go to different things just to keep spreading the Vertex name, bro, the brand.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Gavin, thank you so much for joining us on Advisors on Growth podcast. It's been a pleasure. For those of you who want to check out Gavin's website, that is vertexroofingslc.com, vertexroofingslc.com. He's also listed on LinkedIn, so make sure to check out his profile. Thank you so much for joining us, Gavin.
Yeah, thanks, Derek. I really appreciate the opportunity, man. You take care. God bless, bro.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and leave us a comment. Thank you.